on in mind. So it's hello everybody. Welcome to GAHCast. I am your host, Hydrowave99, and I'm here today with my co-host and good friend, FluufAlpaca. How are you today?
Hey, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. I mean, for those who didn't know, we missed last week because technical
Phil
difficulties.
the Cosby. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, we missed last week because of technical difficulties. So we kind of decided to merge, you know, a couple of the topics we talked about last week with some interesting stuff that we have for this week. And one of the topics I am glad from last week, I am glad we saved for this week because there's a lot to talk about here.
Bill the Cosby. Um, sorry. Um, my wall got moldy, and I had to bleach it.
Ew, that sounds horrible.
I had a fucking 10-year-old AC that finally fucking died. Thank God. But it took the wall with it.
Oh, ew.
At least it tried to. Like literally, I'm sitting here at my computer desk, and this fucking thing, it just, I, like it, I'm so glad it didn't take the entire window with it. But I'm just sitting here, and I hear, like it started grinding, and I was like, what the fuck? Turns out the entire thing was full with mold. It got some pebbles in it, and like it was like, oh my god, and it fucking like, oh my god, it's such a fucking hazard. Like, I did not know I was living with a ballistics like fucking AC.
Wow. All right. Shall we get to start with the news?
Yeah, sure.
All
I'm
right.
I'm I'm ready. Ready.
Nice.
Oof.
Nice. All right. So
Yeah.
the first topic we have to talk about today
All
is
right.
actually something that we had from last week. So this was something that we had a ghost dweller on for this topic last week, but unfortunately our entire recording pretty much got neutered.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly happens. You never really explained it, but I guess it either got corrupted or it just you. Oh wait, no. This is what I actually struggled with. If your computer is like slow, like the CPU, like when you press stop and start recording, it glitches, like it never fully stops recording, and then it doesn't save properly or something. Either way, the recording got snuffed by an unknown being inside Hydrowave's computer. Also, these cats. Sorry.
It's fine, yeah. Unfortunately, my article for that I had saved for the topic, so I have to go ahead and
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
retrieve a different article. So the one on here, the one I have here is from CNET. Originally, I had a different one from a different site. But yeah, so pretty much what it is that Netflix is going to expand into video games. And they're going to do it at no cost to people. So if you have already a Netflix subscription, you do not have to pay more. And also, what they're going to do, they're going to start with mobile games first, and eventually they're going to have it so you can stream like console games.
Which is really interesting. The only problem I have with it is I don't want it to turn into like a Stadia deal. They're doing mobile games first, so that's good. Or is it just like is it more like that, or is it like streaming from your phone? Like
So,
a
yeah, so based on how Netflix is being described according to this, is that they're going to offer ad free games for mobile devices.
okay.
And then what they're going to do is they're going to eventually expand this down the road. So I think this is a smart option. I think right now Yeah, because Luna and Stadia kind of went in a different direction. I mean, Stadia, which I have Stadia, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I actually have the controller flying around somewhere in my room, but I know that with Stadia, they try to make it seem more like a console-like experience where you're like buy each individual game, and then you have like a little premium subscription you could pay for if you want to for additional stuff. But also with Stadia, they had like so many more advanced features, like being able to like have like the ability to have like, like hey, if you're streaming the game on YouTube, you could have other people join in on your game just by going through YouTube and Stadia. But
I
that,
see.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that never really went. That never took off yet. I think that's right now just got into beta. And then
But
Luna,
yeah. Back. Oh, sorry.
it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say back to Netflix, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then
Luna.
Luna, they pretty much just went just complete subscription. Like that's it. Microsoft, however, I think overall, so far at least, has the best approach.
Yeah, with Game Pass.
Yeah, because it's literally a companion.
Sure.
Yeah, it's literally a companion to Xbox and PC. Like
Oh yeah.
if you pay Game Pass Ultimate, you just have access to this, and then you can just play games on your phone or the browser now. So
Oh
that's
yeah. Definitely.
I think
I hope Netflix goes that route.
yeah
Just considering how useful it is compared to like, I guess Stadia with like pay for the game, and you never truly really own it, even not physically, like or digitally, kind of. I guess it's never really saved on the. It's on the cloud, so you know
yeah
that's that's the only issue, I guess, with Stadia compared to like if Netflix goes like more like Xbox's sort of route.
yeah, and I know that with Apple Arcade they went completely more towards like a mobile-ish route with like a premium subscription. So that I hope they kind of not lean more towards Apple Arcade, but more like Xbox Game Pass. That would be nice.
Definitely. Uh, Even if it does mean kind of dumbing down what they give out, I guess,
Yeah,
just to compensate for it not being a, a higher price for an extra, thing. Um, Considering that, I wonder if they're gonna eventually raise it if it becomes like a very popular thing. But then I remember when like Xbox was trying to like Microsoft was trying to raise Xbox Live and stuff. I remember you mentioned that in the original recording, and it did get me thinking, honestly, like if they were to raise it down the line, you know, it'd be a tad. Uh, but then again, I wouldn't want it to be like that exactly. But if they do it, who knows what the reaction would be? If it's such a good experience, like if they start throwing out premium titles,
yeah.
through Netflix gaming, then maybe a price increase would be a bit more reasonable, I guess.
Yeah, I know one thing.
Anyhow,
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that one thing that Ghost brought up last time when we were all here talking about this, which I wish he was here for this, was he brought up something like, "Hey, like, what if they got like Castlevania or Resident Evil since they were promoting that on Netflix? Get some of those games on the service and then call it a day."
oh yeah, that would be amazing,
Hmm.
especially with Reverse coming out or
Yeah.
Reverse.
Oh, that's like the multiplayer add-on to Resident Evil Village. So that's what I mean. Like, what if you get a Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2 remake or like any of the Castlevania games, or at least if
At
Netflix
least
just
not Simon's Quest.
yeah,
Crouch
or
in a wall for a good hour, and then a tornado sweeps you away.
right,
Gameplay.
right, right. Or I was thinking more like, what if like say if they're gonna keep promoting Castlevania, what if they went to the route of like, listen, we're gonna invest in some first party studios for our service. And then we're gonna go to Konami and ask them, hey, could you license out Castlevania for us to make a game? An exclusive Castlevania game for our service. That would get a couple eyeballs over. And then you get like the major part, the major parties like like EA and Ubisoft and everybody on board. If they could play their cards right, this could be a very powerful move.
Definitely. I'd like to see that just because Netflix doesn't really have like studios that they've bought out like Microsoft with a rare series of like the rare sort of the company itself. I mean, in their titles, I can't think of another example from Microsoft, but
Bethesda?
oh yeah, Bethesda. Durr. That's the most recent one. Durr. Excuse me. Uh, but with Netflix, they have licenses to use make titles movie titles for but not exactly they own Resident Evil or Capcom or Konami or anything like that. It might be a tad bit more of a not a stretch, but of a play. It might be just a tad bit more complicated, but at the same time, it's kind of easy because they already asked, hey, can we make a Resident Evil movie and you know that sort of stuff, or a series. I mean, excuse me. It's 12:30. I just got back from the hospital.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
I also had to reassemble this fucking computer, like untangle the damn cables. There was a nice segment at the beginning that didn't get recorded, but it was basically me fumbling around with my webcam mic, trying to find the cable in the dark. And I was like, what should I do? Oh yes, turn on a light.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
yeah, like imagine if that got recorded as a BTS segment. That would have been funny, but then again, we all know you don't like to show your face off very much. We can't really do that.
Oh yeah, I had an amazing segment where I was like, you know, looking at the camera and it was off, and I switched to it, and then I think it was what was his name, Utak? It was the SpongeBob caveman dude. Let me try to find his picture. Here he is, and it was just me. Imagine some blonde dude with long hair and glasses that has like a very fat face. Um, Looking at and fumbling around the cable, looking up every once in a while to talk to somebody. And then all of a sudden it switches to um this. You can see where this is going. Very, very finely edging on that line of
Yeah.
Terry Crews. Anyway, back to basics.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, so overall, I think this is an interesting move. I mean, like I said, we went into more detail. We wish we had some more things to say last week, but that was with Ghost involved, and yeah, this is just an interesting move overall.
I see he's active on the Skype the list. He was active how long ago? He might pop in for another cameo. I think he was streaming last I saw. He was active 17 minutes ago.
Maybe.
Anyhow,
Who knows?
back to that. I don't know why I cleared my throat to go back to the segue.
It's fine. Our next
Anyway,
our next topic is our next two topics are kind of a yin and a yang. So, for the positive side,
you know what that is, right? Yin yang.
yeah, kind of. All right. Anyways, so we're gonna go on to talk about the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta that was just started. Well, if we're recording this on August 1st at like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and technically it'll be on the Friday. But we could see here that, you know, this was something you had to sign up for through the Halo Insider program, which I unfortunately not get to do this, but from what I saw from in like from different feedback on the internet, this game is like a mixture of Halo 3 with Halo 5, but it leans more towards the classic side.
You know, so my first introduction to this beta was being told that it was like Animal Crossing with Halo. And then me and Ghostwaller made a big joke about Animal Crossing with guns and murdering Tom Nook. It just evolved into that. And Isabel, it became very strange with Isabel, considering she's a golden retriever. I don't want to think about it, though.
Right. But anyway, so the way the beta worked is that it was mostly with bots. So it was bots, you get to experiment on the character customization, etc. And there were a lot of cool things they did with this test. Like for instance, you could pick your AI companions. Like you could pick what your version of Cortana would be as a Spartan. They showed off armor customization, which is like you kind of have these armor cores, and you could like pick out different pieces and whatnot. Improve the armor customization, and on top of it too, like they just made it feel more like classic Halo, but with some modern twists.
Oh, yeah.
They showed like how like one of the things they showed was like how like they had like some of the advanced movement options from Halo 5 as like pickups, and that items that used as a pickup, they just instead of using them immediately, like say invisibility, you can hold on to that invisibility and you can save that invisibility for when you need it.
I also see that there was a few, I guess, leaks. Like there was like campaigns in the multiplayer. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, so they actually had some campaign data in the multiplayer files, and then
I see.
so what happened? Some of the developers like, hey, listen, we accidentally left some of the campaign data in the multiplayer beta. Just keep an eye on spoilers and just avoid it.
Oh yeah. No, I was just like, wow, that's interesting. Like multiple campaigns. I mean, it's already been done before, of course, but you know, multiple campaigns. What if they like collide or something? I would love like a choose your own adventure Halo.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. I know they already did something like that with Halo 5, where like you had like two different perspectives, like you had Master Chief's perspective and then the other guy's perspective.
Yeah,
Th-
I was more like in the sense of it being kind of like a multi sort of like choose your own adventure sort of thing where
hmm.
it's like you could have X happen, but there's also Y and Z that you could not exactly choose, but you had the option to choose if you really want. Like, it's a non. It's the choice is not up in your face, and it's not very obvious. But if you want something to happen that's different, I guess
Yeah, yeah,
I would love that.
yeah. I think what they're doing actually is that for this test, what they're doing is they actually did something. From what I heard, what they did is that they actually are doing multiple campaigns, so they have multiple different stories.
Hmm.
So what Halo Infinite is supposed to be, its campaign side, is that it's going to be more of an open world-ish sort of Halo with some
Uh huh.
RPG elements in it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and from some people, I guess from what this from somewhat some people have said that looked through the data, they said that the story was looking to be very good for a Halo game. So if you've been playing Halo for a long time, this game, both its multiplayer mode, which is free to play, and the campaign are just looking to be an absolute delight for Halo fans.
The only question:
hmm
will John Halo reveal his face?
Don't think so, but who knows?
Or will he have a face within a face within a face?
Like one of those Russian doll things.
No, I remember seeing a Boundary Break episode from She Says, I think. It was like he saw the cutscene at the end where Master Chief like takes off his helmet and it's just another helmet underneath. So it's like, wow.
Yes.
Wow, even if you broke into the game. Anyhow.
Yeah. So I think with the good news out of the way, we have unfortunately some minor bad news. I say minor because this news I feel is almost inconsequential, and that is that Dr. Mario World, which was one of Nintendo's mobile games, is actually being delisted on November 1st. It'll be gone. And already they stopped the sale of diamonds, which is like their premium currency for the game.
I see.
So, I mean, it's a mobile game. I mean, like I said, it's minor, not the end of the world. But this game in particular actually is Nintendo's least profitable mobile game they have active right now. Like, if you look at their current lineup of games, for mobile games, I believe it's Fire Emblem Heroes, which is like around $600 billion it made, and then it goes to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, then Dragalia Lost, then Mario Kart Tour, then Super Mario Run, and this game was just distant last.
I see.
So this game essentially it was just struggling. Like I haven't seen people talk about this game.
I'm gonna be honest. I honestly have never heard about it until you brought it up. I was searching it on the way home. And I was like, Dr. Mario World? What? This is a mobile game? This is like Tetris. This is like something you would have on like a one of those like LCD screen things, like the Game and Watch things. This could be a keychain game.
Well, this was a game series that was historically been on like Nintendo consoles that has been kind of like a puzzle-y game. So it kind of it gets at the time they're like, hey, this would be pretty decent to move over to mobile. And this is the game where you have like Dr. Baby Peach. Literally, that was a character.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
or you can literally have Dr. Bowser or Dr. Yoshi.
Awesome. I'd love a the Surgeon General being a deformed dinosaur that has a long tongue that will consume and protect um, toddlers who whine way too much
Or
and cannot shut the fuck up when it's about to die.
I mean, then again, you also have Dr. Baby Mario.
PhD in moving the rainbow like track things.
Right.
You know, the little like rattling things that you can turn, and they like are like a wire track. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Gotta make jokes.
Oh, we have to. That's your stick. It's not
Yeah.
a GAHCast episode where you don't make jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a minor news, not the end of the world, but it's a shame to see a game shut down.
Oh yeah.
Like what happened to Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Oh my god, that was worse.
You know, it's interesting that it's lost media. You know,
Well,
it's like what?
I would say technically it was lost media because it did get re-released recently.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, yeah, if you're going to find a copy for the Xbox 360 or the PS3, you're SOL on that one.
yeah.
But
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's interesting. Like, you know, emulation and that sort of stuff is kind of illegal, I guess. Um, but it's the only way to really preserve stuff other than have companies monetize like re-releases or you know ports.
Yeah, it's the only way to play Panzer Dragoon Saga without having to spend like $1,000 on a Sega Saturn and an actual copy of the game.
Yeah, because like aren't like Xboxes like the original Xbox? Aren't there like the like DRM heat sinks or whatever? Like not heat sinks, the DRMs themselves aren't they like rotting? I guess
I haven't heard anything about that, but
there's something about them. They're decomposing, and like I mean that's scary. And Nintendo stopping like this was a while ago, but they stopped like doing tech support for the NES. Just like
or
I
even
don't know.
or even then, like how Nintendo stopped like the Wii from being able to buy games on the Wii, or
Holy shit, the Wii Shop channel. Oh my fucking god. I miss all of the... Okay, I had a lot of demos from the Wii Shop. There was this one where a pile of liquid that would go down a maze and you could die if you lost too much liquid. And then there was Tick Tick Boom, and then there was a few other demos. There was like a Pokemon like MMO before like Pokemon Unite, and it wasn't even MMO. It was more like just beat 'em ups. Oh my god, and they looked like Rayman, and it's all gone.
are you talking about the Pokemon Rumble games?
I think that's what it is. I do
Yeah,
not
the
know.
Pokemon Rumble games. I think I know what the fluid game I think you're talking about. Like you're going through like mazes and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I think I have that game on my Wii U actually.
Oh my god. I could never. The demos were the games to me. Like I could not.
Yeah, like the only way you're ever going to be able to get those back is if you homebrew your Wii at this point.
Oh yeah. But
But
yeah, with preservation and this sort of stuff, it's like, um, back to the original thing, like back to
Dr. Mario World.
yeah, it's like it's. I mean, it's kind of just like Dr. Mario. So you're not really missing that much, but
It's Dr. Mario World. It's like Dr. Mario, but
it's literally
mobile.
just Dr. Mario, but mobilized.
Yeah, I think the worst thing about a lot of these mobile games, especially ones that are like this, they're always online. So when the game is offline on October 31st, which is when the game ends,
Hmm.
goodbye to that game. Especially if you spent money on that game.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be worse. Like, what if like 10 or 20 years from now, like Fortnite starts to become popular, and then like anyone who spent money on Fortnite, that money's gone.
That's why I never buy microtransactions. It's only ever DLC that adds to the base game, never like microtransaction DLC. I despise that stuff because when this game isn't worth playing or, the multiplayer's hacked, like Black Ops 3, it's not becoming that bad right now, but I think there's more hackers in the lobbies than ever before. And to get all the DLC weapons through the loot crates, to hell with that. You're just going to be spending millions just to get the damn things.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that like some microtransactions. Here's my stance. Like most microtransactions, I avoid. There are some like some Fortnite stuff. I actually don't mind how Fortnite does it because it's mostly like, hey, if you buy the item, you have the item, and that's it. Like if it's that type of microtransaction, I'll go for it. But if it's like a loot box or anything like that, I will never spend money on a loot box. I just find that to be a pain in the ass.
I find all types just. The only reason they're abhorrent is because when the game is dead, where did all your money go? You spent $60 or maybe free or less than 60 or above 60 for stuff that down the road you're not going to be able to really use or show off or just like when you bring up Fortnite, like there are people who are like, oh yeah, I have the OG skins from season one, you know, um, and from like this and that. And what about the other ones? Like, what about the ones you had last month? Like, do you remember the Ripley versus Sludge one, the blue one?
I think I remember that one. It might have been. It's been a while since last place for Fortnite, but
Yeah, but do you still use it as a skin if you bought it? No, you don't, because like the same thing with LeBron James right now. It's Space Jam. You're not gonna use him like miles down the road. But like that's the only thing I don't like about microtransactions with like Fortnite and stuff is like they become stale and nobody wants to see them again. And if you do, you get picked on. Like, lol. Oh shit! I opened up a ball of seltzer. It splashed. I need to shut the fuck up and pay attention.
yeah, I hear you. But yeah, like I understand where you're coming from. Like I know it's skins. It's kind of like you want to collect them all, and then it becomes an expensive thing. Like I have my step cousin who is a big fan of like Mario Kart Tour, and doesn't really spend money, but he spends like he mostly does like their gold pass for that game. So this is actually
Oh
still
yeah.
relevant. This is still relevant to Nintendo. So this actually is relevant to the topic. Um, he'll spend money on the gold pass for that game, so he can get like boosts and stuff for the game. But I'm looking at like because there's a chart. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Let me see if I can find a chat, and I'll share a screen with you too. By the way.
Oh yeah. Like finding that the only difference between like something you'll never use is like with Pokemon. The only difference I have with that with Pokemon, like, because like if you were there to get the Pokemon with the mystery gift or you know something like that, you were there, and you could hack it, the Mew or the Mewtwo or not the Mewtwo, the like Jirachi or Celebi back into the game or Deoxys,
Yeah. All right. So
But now it's like,
yeah. Okay. So take a look at my chart here. Actually, yeah. So you can see here that Fire Emblem Heroes is the most. So that's the one on the left. Look at the right side of the screen I'm sharing. You see the big image.
oh yeah,
So
oh my god,
this is as of January 26, 2020. So keep in mind, there's more up to date numbers on this too. But you can just see why they pull the plug in Dr. Mario World.
I can't believe Run is doing that better than. Isn't it just Subway Surfers but Mario themed?
It's it's an endless runner type of game,
Yeah, yeah. So
but it is. But if you think about it, the way the game works is essentially for Mario Run, they did a different monetization strategy for that one because that was like you pay $10 and then you have access to the game, and I prefer to what Mario Run did.
oh yeah,
Then Fire Emblem Heroes came along, and then money.
yeah, money. I can see that. It looks it looks exponential considering the pocket can. Oh, Animal Crossing, yeah. Animal Crossing versus Fire Emblem isn't even super popular that much compared to Mario, and all the Mario ones are on the left or the right. I mean, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm sure what you find surprising is the fact that Fire Emblem is making more money than Mario, and you know that Mario is the most iconic character.
Oh yeah, certainly. Excuse me, the traffic, and also my cat's crawling up the fucking wooden beam in my house. Oh my god, they fucking crawl all the way to the top and then they jump off like.
Now, I know I do prefer. I have played like Fire Emblem Heroes and Mario Kart Tour. I mean, mostly Mario Kart Tour. But that's the last one I played of Nintendo's mobile games because my cousin loves to play it, and he asked me to play with him like almost all the freaking time.
Yeah.
But believe I would definitely I'd take Fire Emblem Three Houses over Fire Emblem Heroes. or I would take Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah, I played this game over Mario Kart Tour any day of the week. Or for the memes,
Puyo Puyo Tetris 2?
well that, but I'd play this.
Undertale? Oh man, no, Cyberpunk.
I'd play this over any of the mobile games. Any of them.
What about Doki Doki Literature Club?
That
Or
too.
Delta Run?
Those games as well. Like if I had my physical, I'm still waiting for my physical copy of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus to come in for my Switch, so I can just yank it out and show it off on the podcast.
Or Alfie's Fish Lady porno?
Yeah, okay, I'll play that one day. We'll do that in GAHCast plays whenever we find time to do that, because these new topics, these podcasts get a little longer than I thought it would be.
If that ever does become a game, I don't think we ever could, because it's literally a dating sim.
Yeah, literally the thumbnail will just be demonetized. That's it.
Yep. And we'd have to censor everything. And it would just be unwatchable at that point. It'd just be our reactions of fucking pixels.
No, for that one we would have to make it audio only.
Oh yeah. Like a usual podcast.
Well, then again, on my end, I usually have video feed on in mine, so it's not really. I mean,
Whatever.
Alright, well, besides that, let's move on to the next topic, I think. 'Cause I think we're done with mobile games.
Oh yeah, I found an adapter to adapt an Xbox, one of the fat Xbox controllers. Speaking of the original Xbox, I found an adapter to plug it into my computer.
Nice.
Interesting. Uses one of those S-video things, but it's not actually S-video. Looks like it. Kind of like the serial ports.
Yeah.
That look like VGA ports. Anyway.
Yeah. So, for our next topic here, once it loads.
What should I say? Ooh, ports.
Woo. So our next topic. Our next topic here.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Our next topic is that Tesla is pushing.
Sorry.
Our next topic here for today is that Tesla is pushing back their semi-trucks released to 2022. So, the original launch target for this thing was in 2019. So this was before, well, way before the podcast even going to start in the first place. And they're saying the reason why they're delaying it is because of the limited availability of battery cells and global supply chain challenges. And if we look at their entire quotes here, what they're saying here. We believe we remain on track to build our first Model Y vehicles in Berlin and Austin in 2021. The pace of the respective production ramps will be influenced by the successful introduction of many new product and manufacturing technologies, ongoing supply chain related challenges, and regional permitting. To better focus on these factors, and due to limited availability of battery cells and global supply chain challenges, we have shifted the launch of the semi-truck. Stupid ads. We have shifted the launch of the semi-truck program to 2022. We are also making progress on the industrialization of the Cybertruck, which is currently planned for awesome production subsequent to Model Y. Ah, yes, a Cybertruck.
Cybertrunk.
Dude.
Cybertrunk 2077.
Dude, what?
Cybertrunk 2022.
Dude, literally, what if the Cybertruck was released in 2077? We can have that perfect pun of it.
We already have them. And, I think if AVGN gets uploaded to the fucking, the cloud, he'll be reviewing games in the cloud and be like, 2077? Fucking Tesla has... Or, no, why am I doing this voice? What? Why am I doing this voice? I sound sometimes like AVGN. they thinking? Like something like that. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah. This is interesting to think that that Tesla has been attempting to get the semi truck in for a while now, and to hear that the global supply chain shortages have been impacting their production of being able to make these things. It's kind of it really shows how the global supply chain, with the chip shortages and everything, have been driving everything up a wall.
Oh yeah, certainly. I personally think it's also because they have to scale up the whole thing and have it be able to haul stuff that's really large. I also think that because you think they can make F-150 Fords for well, not them specifically, but they can make electric Fords, and Fords that's decent sized flatbed, but you can only carry so much stuff in it, and not many people really use it for that, so there's not really much stress, I guess, over the lifespan. It doesn't gain many miles while being under a heavy load, so to speak. But with the semi truck, they're always hauling shit in that freight, so it's you gotta think they gotta strengthen the damn thing, They gotta make sure that one is able to pull that weight, but also it just needs to be more efficient and be durable for that sort of stress,
Yeah.
I saw you giggling. What pun are you thinking of?
To think that this thing could have been hauling Steam Decks or Nintendo Switches if it wasn't for these supply chains.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those damn semiconductor shortages.
Or
And that stupid robo dog of yours. Roro!
nice Scooby Doo joke there. Well, speaking of Steam Decks in game,
Sorry.
it's fine.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. Oh, I mean, overall, this is an interesting thing to see. The delay of this major project from Tesla, and it shows they're trying to diversify from just being electric cars to being more to other vehicle categories, and they just haven't been able to do it because of purchase supply shortages.
Damn.
But speaking of Steam Decks and gaming PCs, we have to talk about some game PCs because there was supposedly some states in the United States have been passing some energy efficiency laws for that could impact gaming PCs.
Yeah. It's not as big as you think.
No.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, it isn't. But we're still going to talk about it because it gives us an opportunity to clear it up with the masses. So if any of you are watching this, please watch because we're going to explain some stuff here.
Oh yeah, certainly. And not only that, but it's also just gonna be kind of, I guess, get your shit together in a way with the pre-built stuff not being because that's all it is. I think is that they weren't made to be energy efficient. They weren't set to be like that. I guess. I think that was the whole thing. It was just it was we set this thing, without the power savings sort of thing, I guess, and that's why they couldn't really sell them as those states because of the power stuff, I guess.
Yeah, so essentially what's going on is that some states such as California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington are having some more power consumption regulations, and in these sort of states they're blocking orders from some things of running game PCs in those states. Now we go through the article. Now most of the stuff focuses more on California, and the rules that they were trying to put in place have been incoming since 2016, and they were supposed to be passed in July 2021. And fortunately, they have a link here so you can read the regulation, and you can see that I'm gonna pull up the regulation myself. Which by the way, Alpaca, if you go
Right?
that Word document, I have the links to everything, so you can take a look at this energy bill yourself.
I see. Yeah, but it's just it's insane how I guess clickbait like falsified they are, I guess, in a way. Because it's not as terrible as gaming PCs are being banned and they're not for the general public anymore, or just like you know muff freedom stuff. It's literally just like it's like a power thing that they didn't enable or something. Um, you know.
So pretty much what's going on here is that they're pretty much are going to. So they're giving manufacturers time to like adjust. They gave manufacturers some time to like make sure they can adapt their technologies with these new regulations in place. And essentially, yeah, so it's mostly from what I heard here. And if you go on the thing here, it says that there's an update, and it mostly targets PCs with high power consumption when idle.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It was mostly just idle stuff. Like when it's idle, it consumes a lot more power, and there's just a setting that they didn't enable, and it was just like they made a big deal out of it, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah, so it says even here in the article, it says provided a powerful PC has a power supply that is able to lower the power usage enough while idle, it'll satisfy the CEC energy efficiency requirements. However,
Exactly. What's up?
however, PCs using a power supply that still uses a lot of power while idle will be banned in certain states. So the ones that we mentioned in the article. So pretty much what's going on here essentially is that if the PC you're using does not lower the power when idle, that thing's getting banned. So like my PC probably wouldn't be, but my PC right now, my Skylake PC from 2013, probably wouldn't qualify in that state because it's an old ass computer.
Yeah. Honestly, I think though, like most PSUs are, I think they're more efficient in general compared to like your pre-built Alienware or something. I don't think it's that blanket.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying that like
Oh yeah, of course.
powers.
I just want to make sure I mean, it's definitely not it's not like they're completely outright banning anything that has gaming capability, or like it's literally just like how much power the PSU, you know.
Yeah, and I have another article here that kind of details more of this. Let me just see if my Word document actually is willing to work with us here. That's the most important part. There we go. It wants to work with me. Awesome. Once it's done loading, we can get going and take a look at this other article I found. I think after this, we have, yeah, after this topic here, we have one more topic before we get to the main event of the whole episode. And dead, dead, dead. Okay, here we go. So this article here kind of goes into more detail, and it uses like Jay-Z Sense video.
Oh yep.
So pretty much, yeah, saying it only applied the pre-built, and it says the new law regulates both the sleeping power consumption and offers a reasonably generous annual power consumption limitation that scales the size of the PC. And it says the efficiency calculations take into account expandability, so they can end up favoring larger PCs over smaller builds. And it says here that according to J2 Cents, they're not targeting gamers specifically. They're targeting gluttons.
Yep.
So.
And considering that a lot of pre-builds are made with dodgy power supplies, and the just dodgy power supplies in general, not efficient at all, or I mean, in the same exact vein, nobody really buys pre-builds unless they don't know much about PCs in general, which I guess once you get explained, it's a bit easier, but not a lot of resources tell you exactly what to what exactly to do. So there will be that general population that's like, oh, that's a gaming PC, or something.
Yeah.
Don't expect your office PC that you stole from 2013 to run Crisis, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a chart here that shows like what computers are legally able to be sold in California. And there's a little chart here. It shows the type of computer it is. It shows that like for models manufactured on or after January 1st of 2021, measured annual energy consumption shall be less than or equal to the value shown below. And as you can see here, some of the values have shrunken down a bit. Like, it only impacts the categories in the middle row there. One is desktop computers, mobile game systems, and then clients with an ES more than 250 but no more than 425, and desktop computers, mobile game systems, and clients with an ES more than 425 but no more than 690. It's showing. It's showing like, yeah, it mostly starts targeting desktop computers. But as we discussed earlier, it's not going to. You can see here, and it also shows another chart here for must also feed the mass power consumption tangible and sleep mode. So, like I said, like we were saying, California is not losing their game PCs. It's just that you kind of have to just be a bit more careful with your power management. That's all it is.
And even then, it doesn't apply to already built, custom-made sort of stuff. It's just what you bought off the shelf sort of stuff. And even then, not many of them are in that sort of category. But all in all, this bill does show that gamers are the most oppressed people. That's the only problem I see with this bill, is that it certainly does open the eyes of the public that we are very oppressed and we will not stand.
Oh yeah, we're very oppressed. I mean, we get offended when anime titties get censored on a freaking video game.
The MC5.
Exactly. No, wait. Dead or Alive 6. There we go. If you have to have a... I don't know. Let's move on to
solid, stiff breasts.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic, because I think... Yeah, that was an interesting topic. But let's move on to the next topic here. Our last topic before the main event of the day. What's probably going to take like...
Oh, yes.
Our 30-minute extravaganza.
Yep.
So...
Ooh, I'm so glad we skipped out last week because of tech difficulties. Ooh, Bill the Cosby. Lol.
Exactly. So...
Boy.
Good news for PS5 owners, such as myself. Let's see if I can... Oh, I have my box blocking it. Never mind. You have a box blocking it. But anyways, so... For those...
We're not going to talk about the big thing? What you just realized? Oh yeah, the PS5. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. I was
Okay.
just expecting the other
So,
thing.
so for those of you who have signed up for the beta updates for PS5, you can update. You can get the update that allows you to use NVMe storage drives on your 5. Yay! Finally, about time.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
certainly.
So it's like our jokes. It's been 10 minutes.
It's been 10 minutes.
No, but more so instead, it's the November.
Been a good few hours.
It's been 8 months.
It's been 8 months. Not only it's been 8 months, but it's been a long time coming, considering that it's literally just a port that they disable software level disability, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the most annoying thing with the PS5 is that its storage is off. Like, now the Xbox Series X, you get a terabyte of storage. For the PS5, it's a weird amount, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I believe it's 825 gigabytes.
That is interesting. That's a strange number of all things. 825. I mean, it's like a little off from a terabyte, but eh, eh.
Yeah, it's 825 gigabytes. That's how much storage is inside the PS5.
Like
So,
150.
and then if you install Call of Duty and a couple of games on it, well, let's just say that hard drive is filling up very fast. Now, at launch, right? At launch, you could not move games like PS5 games outside the internal hard drive. Like if your game is a PS5 game, it cannot be moved to an external hard drive that is only reserved for PS4 games. But they fixed that one a couple months after the PS5 launch, so you could move your PS5 games onto an external hard drive. But there's a catch with these next-gen consoles, and that is you cannot play any games, any PS5 or Xbox Series X specific games on an external hard drive. You have to use an NVMe drive.
Which, well, is an interesting sort of way to say, fuck you. And also more light shed on the oppression.
Oh yeah, gamers are segregated. Anyways,
What? Segregated.
I don't know anymore. I'm just saying weird words. But yeah, like especially if like you're
Happiness.
on, say you're on the Xbox, on like Xbox, and you have all the smart delivery stuff, but you upgrade your games. Yeah, if you want to play like say the coming soon the Xbox Series X version of Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to play that on an external hard drive. If you want to play the Xbox Series X version of Grand Theft Auto 5, that thing has to be moved into the internal hard drive.
What? Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you said it was like over a terabyte GTA 5 re-release.
No.
Oh my god, that would scare the shit out of me. What the fuck are they packing in those updates? Fucking explosive dragon's breath?
8K,
Jesus Christ.
8K graphics.
8K fucking graphics? Like, no, 16K.
No, it's
Fucking 16K. Everything is upscaled.
no, it's like those memes. 64-bit, 32-bit, 16-bit,
16-bit, 8-bit, 4-bit. 1 bit.
Oh my god.
My Dixie wrecked.
But yeah, but what makes this interesting though with the PS5? Now, with the Xbox Series X, with the Xbox Series X, in order to upgrade the storage, like, I mean, for your NVMe storage, if you want to upgrade your NVMe storage on an Xbox Series X, you have to buy this specialized like card. It looks like a little mini memory card, and you stick it on the back of your Xbox Series X. But with the PS5, you just install any NVMe drive, but they have to meet some very specific requirements. I'm going to pull up the requirement page for them. Which, by the way, Alpaca, the link to this Sony PlayStation page is in the document.
I can't find it. I can't open it. I'm sorry. I don't actually have Excel.
But you don't have Microsoft Word or a way to pull it up on Google Docs or something?
Let me try that, honestly. I'm sorry. I really apologize because it's just like I should be able to do this. I did it last time. I just could have sworn I did it last time, but for some reason it's just accept files. Yes, like of course I want to accept it. Come on. Open in. What the fuck is open? Save as. As fuck.
Do a save as.
Save as. Okay, save as, and in the downloads. Oh, it's already open. Okay, let's open it with open with Notepad.
I wonder how it's going to display it.
It's satanic.
Okay, yeah. I'll screen share this page with you for now.
Keep on going. Honestly, can I open it in Paint? What will freaking Paint?
Probably not.
Not a valid.
Anyways, I'm just sharing my screen here with you. Make it easy.
Media player. What the fuck? I can open it in Media Player.
All right. Anyways, besides that, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this here is the PlayStation's page for adding the SSD to a PS5 console. Now, here's the thing. We know what an M.2 SSD is. We know why you have to do it. But here's when things get interesting. Are you ready? Take a look at these requirements.
Okay, let me full screen that. Okay, so Gen 4, that works. Capacity. Yeah. Sorry.
Now keep in mind this. So, you can't just insert any NVMe drive in there. Yeah, it has to be Gen 4. It has to be Gen 4. So you can't go to Gen 3 or Gen 2. And now for the NVMe drive has to have a heatsink on it. On top of it too, the read speeds must be 5,500 megabytes per second or faster.
Oh wow.
The module width, wait till you see what I have here. The module width must be 22 millimeters wide. And it's saying here that 25 millimeter width is not supported. And now the form factor, it can either be a 2230, a 2242, a 2260, a 2280 or a 22,110. Now, unfortunately, they do mention that you can find the retail listings on the retail listings, and they say that the first two digits refer to the width, the remaining digits to the length. In other words, yeah, you can see here for the M.2 drive, the width must be 22 millimeter wide.
Okay.
Now, socket type has to be a socket 3 or key M. And you can see, as I keep going down here, I'm sure you notice something right as I keep mentioning everything.
Length.
Yes.
What?
The overall thing is that the hard drive specifications are very specific. It must be this type, it must be this speed, it must be this long, this wide, this thick, it must have a heatsink, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, it does. It does look very specific,
So,
actually.
in other words, good old Timmy, who goes into a Best Buy thinking he's going to upgrade his PS5 internal hard SSD storage, will have no absolute idea what sort of drive he's going to get. Because once he inserts it, his PS5 is going to say, hey, this hard drive's not supported. Try again.
And it literally fits in the console and everything.
Mm-hmm. Think about it this way. Imagine if it gets like a Gen 3 NVMe drive and it has read speeds less than 5,500 millis. Yeah. 5,500. Like, whatever that dimension is. Yeah. Megabytes per second.
Yeah, I don't like that the read speed is like a little too high, even for Gen 4.
Yeah. So now,
I mean,
let's look at some hard drives. Ready to see some prices?
I don't truly like the fact that it has to do with like you have to have a heatsink. Mine is just bare. I just took the sticker off.
So, for instance, I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah.
So
And they don't eat up that many watts. Produce that much heat.
The Seagate Barracuda 510. Are you ready to see? Oh, 530. Ready to see some prices on these boys? Because it's getting pricey. Oh shoot, actually I had the wrong one. Wow, wrong template. Oh boy. Oh boy, the prices are gonna be nasty.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, for a 4 terabyte NVMe drive that could do what the PS5 needs, which is the maximum storage, right now is $999 or about $1,000.
Is the Firecuda 530 what Sony recommends?
One of the ones that people found recommends. However, I found that like most of the drives are in similar pricing. However, if you want 2 terabytes, that's $514.99. Less storage. Well, a terabyte, that's $255. If you want 500 gigabytes, that's only $150 for 500 gigabytes.
What the fuck?
Now keep in mind this, like I said, those Xbox memory cards you can find are around like $250 because it's a terabyte of storage.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that some will be slightly less, some will be slightly more. So keep in mind that if there's a 4 terabyte variant, it could probably be $950 for another brand, but I'm sure you'll notice it's gonna be about the similar price range.
I mean, like now that you mentioned that, because like the specs were kind of specific, but the fact that the fucking thing is like a Firecuda costs that much, and that's the speed that that they need. Like, fuck, I have a hard drive that's like $90, sometimes 80 or 70 on a good day, and it's just the Barracuda, 4 terabyte. I mean, it doesn't have a high speed, but I mean, it loads the games, or well, not. I don't really use it for games, but I mean, I used to use like a. Actually, I think I still use a 2.5 hard drive for loading some on my secondary drive.
You definitely want
So,
to make sure that your fastest drive is what boots your operating system.
but yeah, of course, the games, if they're not that important, they can go secondary.
Now, keep in mind this that like games are going to now because the PS5 and Series X games use the NVMe drive. It may be possible that down the road for your PC games, you're going to have to get them on an NVMe drive, like if it's specific for that.
Oh shit! I just realized that. Yeah, because like, oh my god, like literally, they could be using like, oh my god, because like, yeah, because like most games are bound for hard drives or just SSDs. Not many load fast on an NVMe. Like more faster than an SSD that's top tier. You know. I didn't realize that. I hope they optimize for hard drives still, but I know that's not really going to happen. But okay, now that you mention that, I just realized I remember hearing about that because like I saw a comparison for Red Dead 2, and the NVMe didn't do much compared to an SSD. That was the highest it could be with speed.
Mm-hmm. So, and then on top of it too, think about it, there's going to be a Series X PS5 version of Red Dead. So that's going to take advantage of the NVMe drive for faster loading and stuff, and higher graphic
Nice.
fidelity. So, if you think about that,
Yeah, I mean now that you mention it.
so yeah, you're going to be prepared for some of these next gen games to possibly be NVMe drive only. This will probably be a few more years down the road, so I wouldn't worry about it right now. But like when that time comes, oh yeah, you're going to need to worry about that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, as long as I can get my hard drives to be cheap enough and like be able to use them for like recording segments or something, and vice versa, I can use just a regular old SATA SSD, you know, for loading some games. As long as it loads good enough and then like they're not just like slowed down with loading the actual game itself. Like when you load in the actual game, like the mountains in the distance pop in, kind of like GTA 5 on the Xbox One. Um, like you load into online and then everything starts to pop in as it fades in.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, in other news, I think we're done with this topic. But in other news, we're already at like
Oh
an
yeah.
hour and 13 minutes already. So I think we're gonna beat the record for the longest episode recorded.
New record.
Yoo! No, we have to do the Smash Brothers announcement. New record. But besides that, are you ready for the biggest topic of the day?
I mean, I hope it actually is, considering you hyped it up and then was like, "Oh yeah, PS5 sword." Sorry, it's just like I
No,
was like waiting for it.
I was saying like what I was trying to do for that was like I was trying to say, hey, before we get to the biggest topic of the day, here's one more topic to talk about.
That's just a little bit more depressing.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna link.
Anyway,
So what I'm gonna do for you before I get going, I'm gonna drop all the links in the chat.
please do, considering I cannot open the damn thing yet. Sucks because I used to do it in Word, or not Word, WordPad.
So yeah, there's a bunch of links just going crazy. So yeah, you can see a bunch of. Just try to follow where the HTTPSs are, or if it's
Yeah.
easier, I'll just copy and paste each individual one. So you can just
No, don't. I can tell when links are done.
all right. So let's get started with the largest thing of the day.
Bill the Cosby.
Exactly. So I have a story to tell you all. We have a story to tell you. So,
Oh god, it's spooky stories to tell in the dark.
oh yeah.
Gather around the campfire.
Alright, so, you know what? If we're gonna make it spooky, scary time, I'm gonna change my lights. So give me 1 second.
And I'm gonna change my lights. Fucking, can you
So,
just exist?
I guess I'm gonna make it blood red. Fuck it.
That's the wrong one, shut up.
Alright, good enough. Alright, so we got the blood red.
Why is it lagging? What the... What? It's fucking... Okay. Does this work? No, that's fucking... Baku-san. Maybe, this works? No. I'll just go with this. That's the wrong one again. Alright.
Alright.
We got the scariness.
Alright.
Let me, like...
Alright, here we are. The juicy story of the day. So, let's go. So, we're talking about Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
So, what happened here is that Activision Blizzard, who we all know for Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, etc., is being sued by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing over their frat boy workplace culture that led to years of harassment and abuse towards targeting the women in its workforce. This is a big deal.
Certainly is. I'm gonna not be like silly because that's not a good thing. It's really not good, but I'm gonna like change the camera, I guess, just because, you know.
Yeah, that's just why my lights right now are at code red, because this is a big deal.
I can't access the... Anyway, yeah, that works. Alright.
Actually, you know what would be probably easier? Would it be easier if I just put all the links in a notepad document and then you can just view it in notepad and just copy paste?
No, just keep it the way it is.
Okay.
Alright. Honestly.
You can kind of figure out the pacing?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So, and now you can see here that they have several different examples here. This Kotaku article has done a very excellent job of kind of getting the early stages of this. So it shows like some examples included that women are subjected to cube crawls in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and often engage in inappropriate behavior toward female employees. Male employees probably come into work hungover, play video games for long periods of time during work, while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk open about female bellies, and joke about rape.
Yep. I don't and originally I did not really like I didn't know about everything, like, you know, in the sense like the new stuff that came out. I mean, nobody did, but I was like really more just like, what is wrong with this company, you know, who, you know, and it can't just be, I guess, cancel culture. It's literally like this is a government investigation, not just fucking, you know, allegations. This is literally fucking, they scoped the place out and noticed that this shit was going on, you know. They did whatever to, you know, find out that this is an actual thing that's going on, and if this is all 100% true, this is just disgusting.
It really
And,
is.
I sure as hell do not like. I've been thinking about not ever playing anything that has Activision Blizzard's name on it, just because this is such a fucking terrible thing. Like, do I really want to support these people? I love to play COD, but I'm never buying the battle pass. And usually I only ever buy the battle pass if I 100% it before I actually buy it. And if I 100% it, or fuck, I'm not even gonna play the goddamn game because this is just fucking boring.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and if we
You
continue,
know,
yeah, if we continue onwards, it gets even worse. Like, you can see like female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment, including having to continually fend off unwanted sexual comments and advances by their male coworkers and supervisors, and being groped at the cube crawls and other company events. High-ranking executives and careers engage in blatant sexual harassment without repercussions. And there's an example here that shows how a female employee committed suicide during a business trip with a male supervisor who had brought butt plugs and lubricant with him on the trip. Like,
yeah.
the
As it
fuck?
goes on, it just gets fucking worse.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Like, this is that particular example, you know, that I despise, you know, I just I despise the topic of, you know, like I just despise this stuff. But the fact that somebody wanted to end their life because they thought there's no way out of this business trip, where they literally thought that their supervisor was going, to do stuff to them, like literally, that's so fucking. It scares me. If I ever become a parent, and I've always had this thing in the back of my head. It's like, if I ever become a parent, or it gets to this point where it's like, is this the world when you gave birth, or you impregnated, your wife, I guess. When you had that child, did you think that was the world that you birthed them into, or did you know that this is what they were going to face later on in life? It's like, that is so scary to me. It's like, I bring a daughter into this world and something terrible happens to her, because of who she is, or my son, gets murdered because he falls in with the wrong crowd, or something fucking terrible happens. Like, did you know that your child would turn out this way? That's what fucking terrifies me. Like, I never want my child, if I ever do, or hell, if I adopt, I don't want them to ever become that way, or fall into that crowd, or end up like that. It's a scary fucking thing. It's not even the parents parenting me. It's just like, this is the ugly of the world. You know.
hmm.
So,
And then,
and the fact that they'd work for a company that, despite, you know, hanging the, pride flag, and, you know, BLM, and, women's rights, and preaching about it, and then this is the fucking thing that the government spots in your workplace, and you're trying to, you know, water it down, or douse it in this, like, we're not like this, or fuck, even saying like, this is exaggerated. This is a fucking government company. Not I mean, not a company. This is a fucking government that is on your ass about this shit.
a
It's not
government
really that
agency.
exaggerated. Like an agency. Sorry, I'm trying to find the words for that, but it's just, God,
Yeah,
it
and
makes me fucking cringe.
there's more examples. Like, it shows like how supervisors ignored medical restrictions given to female employees and give them negative evaluations while they were out on maternity leave. And they were saying how other female employees reported that they were criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare, while their male counterparts were playing video games, and female employees were kicked out of lactation rooms so employees could use the room for meetings. Another thing they brought up here is that an African American employee noted that it took her 2 years to be made into a permanent employee, while men hired after her were made permanent employees. She was also micromanaged such that her male coworkers were known to be playing video games without any intervention by her supervisor. But her supervisor would call and check on her if she took a break to go on a walk. Another African American employee who worked in information technology was similarly micromanaged by her manager, unlike the men on her team. When she requested time off of work, her manager made her write a one-page summary of how she would spend that time off when no one else had to do any write-up.
And it's just like, that is beyond just singling out someone. That's literally just treating them as subhuman, as property even. Like, that's literally like detention. That's something you do in detention as a child. Like, you'd write, "I will not do X," like 50 times on the board before you get get out of school.
Yeah, it's literally like the famous Bart Simpson scene in the
That is
introduction.
literally in the intro. Yeah, that's what I was actually imagining in my head. Is literally that.
Yeah, it's just, and the fact they kick women out of lactation rooms for trying to feed their children, that's sickening.
Like, I mean, I understand, you can do that in the bathroom, but, it's like, if your child, what, like, man, I don't understand,
Hmm.
It's just like, it's just like I said, these people who preach about being inclusive and shit, and their banners in June turn into rainbow banners, and yet they're like this to people and women in general, you know?
Oh,
I imagine if there was a transgender that they would be picked on or treated less. Or, fuck, if you were openly gay, you'd be treated really differently. You wouldn't be praised like everyone else does in advertising. You never do. I swear.
yeah. And then we go even further, and Activision responded to this depart agency with this statement here, and we'll read the whole entire thing for the situation because this is going to set up for a lot of things. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There is no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In case they're related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue. The DFEH includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint as well as we will demonstrate in court. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFPH to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of their investigation. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. The picture the DFVH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years and counting since the initial investigation started, we have made significant changes to address the company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams. We have updated our code of conduct to emphasize a strict non-retaliation focus, amplified internal programs and channels for employees to report violations, including the Ask List, with a confidential integrity hotline, and introduced an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns. We have strengthened our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and combined our employee networks at a global level to provide additional support. Employees must also undergo regular anti harassment training and have done so for many years. We put tremendous effort in creating fair and rewarding compensation packages and policies that reflect our culture and business, and we strive to pay all employees fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We take a variety of proactive steps to ensure that pay is driven by non-discriminatory factors. For example, we reward and compensate employees based on their performance, and we conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including for those who are part of the compensation process. We are confident in our ability to demonstrate our practices as an equal opportunity employer that fosters a supportive, diverse, and inclusive workplace for our people, and we are committed to continuing this effort in the years to come. It is a shame that DFEA did not want to engage with us on what they thought they were seeing in their investigation. Whew. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Definitely. It's interesting retaliation. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I just, is it really, you know, is it like it does make you wonder if it was really, you know, I guess, it does make you kind of wonder, like, is this, if that's actually, if that's true, I guess, that they aren't exactly like, what I'm trying to say is that they put up an okay argument, but it's only okay,
Right, because what we're going to see continuing forward contradicts
Exactly.
this entire statement. We have a lot to explore and discuss throughout this whole thing. So what this statement does is that it kind of leads us to the story even further. So let me pull up the next article I want to bring up that relates with the whole thing. And pretty much the employees of the company are outraged about this. In fact, according to this article here, over 1,000 people formerly or currently working at Activision Blizzard have signed a letter condemning the company's reaction to the harassment and discrimination lawsuit it's facing. So I think this was this week, but it kind of shows you really like how serious this is. Like it shows you like this, and it even says here in their update that 500 current and former Ubisoft employees even signed into solidarity, and that it's signed by over 2,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of went through, all this already, pretty much. But pretty much what this essentially is saying is they're not buying. The employees themselves are not buying what the corporate responses are. They're not. And this is showing that again. Employees are, dealing with this toxic culture and they want this to stop, but they have an executive branch of the company that seems to promote this, and it's awful. Like, I remembered when I heard Ubisoft, Ubisoft, I guess I heard something about Ubisoft facing some similar-ish things a couple years back, and from what it seems like some people are saying, nothing really changed after those controversies happened.
Nothing does, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It doesn't unless there's some incredible movement, I feel.
Yeah. I feel like with Activision Blizzard and how big of their IPs are, like Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, like those are really big games, and I feel like having one of the largest companies out there is gonna really shine a negative light. Like, in fact, let's take a look at this. So, after the initial statement happened, so now we're going back a little bit. We have the protest, and it's and at this point, Activision Blizzard they're going out in the walk, and many of their employees are going on a walkout. Now, let's see. So, on July 28th, outside of Blizzard's Irvine campus, the employees of this particular branch of Activision Blizzard went outside the building to protest. And if we keep going down here, yeah, so it pretty much is saying, yeah, on the July 28th, just a few days ago, there was a protest that happened. Which, that's good to see that, the employees are speaking up against this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to, and in fact, this whole controversy has been so bad that during this time frame, their stocks fell. Like, their stocks fell. Like, I don't have a stock chart on me. In fact, let me see if I can pull one up. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up an actual stock thing for us to view. Because this is... This is just the whole thing its own right. So we're going to see the drop in their stock. Like, their stock is going to drop. And I'm going to go within the last... Actually, 5 days is pretty accurate. Let me share my screen with you real quick, because this is a whole... It's a whole thing. Alright, take a look at this.
Oh. Oh, God.
So you can see that for the last, here's, everything that happened before the whole thing happened. And then literally right about here, before the protest happened, you can see that it dipped at a lowest of $82.38. It peaked up again, but you can see that their stock is gradually decreasing. It has a couple of upticks here and there, but you can see it's gradually decreasing.
Yeah, it's hovering around 80, 82 to 84. Let's see.
And if we go to a 1 month average, I mean, you can see it's already gradually decreasing already, and then this plummet happens.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little intense, but you can see here. So, the 6 months. This is the lowest they've been all year.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind this, too. This is not, a financial podcast. But the impact this has is really massive on the company as a whole. Just from a financial perspective, I kind of hope this year's Call of Duty, if it actually gets revealed and comes out this year, is one of the worst performing Call of Duties out there.
It probably is. I can tell you all about it. It's probably gonna have a lot of SBMM, which doesn't go over well. I mean, people will still buy it. There's, drones are like, oh yeah, the Call of Duty. I hope it's good, but I hope it gets destroyed too. I hope it gets decimated by 2042.
I might actually pick up 2042 myself because it just looks like an enticing and interesting game.
I would rather, because considering the absolute you know, absolute filth. Like this is monkey behavior, you know. If I could make it even like if I could make it sound, this is what monkeys do: is fling shit all around and like you know impregnate random fucking gorillas. I guess
It's
like, this is
just
what fucking monkeys do, and like they're acting like life's a party in the office in a professional environment. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, for fuck's sake, I wish I wish they dropped. Like, I'm looking at the maximum, like the 5 year actually. Um, somewhere around like holy shit, somewhere around like 2016, and then around like uh, at the very beginning, around like the end of 2016, and then all the way to I wonder what the hell happened in on uh, November 2nd to the 16th.
yeah. Like,
Anyway,
yeah, so we have stocks. That's fine and all. But let's get through this. So
Wall Street bets.
now again goes to GameStop, but no, we're not talking about GameStop. We're
Oh,
talking about the walkout now. The protest. We have some screenshots here of the protest that happened out there. I mean, take a look at this stuff. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed, I left my screen sharing, so you might be able to take a look at this stuff.
I just appreciate it because like I'm able to view it without you know I can just kind of look at the link and try to match it with the one in chat. So
Yeah, I kind of left it screen sharing, but it seems like it hasn't had a hit of my audio quality yet. But, anyways, take a look at some of the stuff. Like, this is the first image right here. Take a look at this.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I, I think this is a very small portion
Oh yeah, like
of what what they're I wonder what the entire crowd looked like. You know, like
so. Yeah, you can see like this is before
they
the
really
hundreds
give
of
out
Activision
drinks
Blizzard
and
workers
stuff.
arrived for the 10 a.m. Activision Blizzard walkout, and they show like you can see like here's a stand they set up here. So they have a little bit of a food stamp.
Interesting to say the least.
Yeah, a little food stand here, and they have a sign that says "Every voice always mattered," and they have a hashtag ActiBlizz walkout. Oh, and then you can see here, it looks
Oh
like
yep.
you can see a line here. It's hard to see because of the image here. Oh yeah, I should probably start sharing my screen again, show the chat. So the people viewing. So this is the first image up here. Yeah, a couple signs up here, and then we scroll down a little bit, and you get to this whole thing here. This is the song I was talking about, and here's the little food stand they had. And then when we get down to here, there's the line. Now I'm gonna zoom in a little bit if I can. Can I zoom in? I don't know. I'm gonna zoom in. So yeah.
I can see they did chalk drawings if you look down.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, here's a whole line of people out there. You can see signs and people just lined up. It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna zoom this back out to 100. Actually, let's see if there's anything major. Oh yeah, take a look at this. Honk to support equality. So they're asking people look on the streets to like honk their horns in support of what they're going through. Like, that's rough. Oh, and take a look at this. Lead responsibility, make the world a better place, and you can see all the hearts and people, all the different
Yeah.
employees. Like, this actually is making me shed a tear just looking at this.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm just
I,
most of the stuff I'm seeing here. Like, don't get me wrong, I've heard the news like throughout the week, but just seeing all this and just unraveling everything in person is really just. It opens so much more than what I initially thought. So let's take a look more. Here are some people. There's a chalk line. It's hard to say what this is supposed to say down here, but it definitely revolves around. Like you can see here, there's a people walking across the street. Try to show they're walking out in support. Here, and you can see like they are actually drawing on the crosswalk.
oh yeah, it says Active Blizzard walkout.
Yeah, you can see them again continue to draw. Yeah,
I can see the blue heart will have a more of a meaning now about, you know, workplace equality and stuff. I think that'll become the new norm rather than, you know, it just being that one friend, I guess.
at least I hope this does become the norm after what we're seeing here, because this is all looking awful. Let's see what else there is. Oh my god, like you can see another heart down there. Like
Hmm.
we're seeing all this firsthand, and this is just the Blizzard entrance, and notice how there's like no one there, except for the heart. Actually, I might be able to zoom out now. It looks like the image is just about fine. I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. But yeah, you can see like you
Oh
can
my god, accountability now, transparency now, not soon trademark. I love that.
and you can see here like I believe you. Like yeah, unaccountable unaccountable corporate bureaucrats are driving the best employees out of Activision Blizzard. And look at this, like this is all. Look at this, like I'm just staring at all this, like
Yeah. This is this is just a big ball that's finally been uncapped. I can tell.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna show all these images in honor and solidarity of all the people that work at Activision Blizzard. Like
Yeah, the good people.
exactly.
Like I know that there are good people in there, and this just shows that this has been a big bottle that's been gaining volume over time, and it's finally been uncorked, and it's like by seltzer water. It's like it's finally ruptured and it's spraying everywhere, showing like this is what people, this is what people in this place, it's just it's I don't know how to say it. I'm disgusted with this article, with like how it tells everything about like what happened, but it's just like there are people in there that are good, and there are people that like there are Blizzard employees that aren't just there to be frats and like literally like harass people and just terrible shit. This is actually the overwhelming amount of people that are normal and like not pigs, I guess.
Yeah, like this is like you can see like it's always the bad few that always ruin everything for everybody. And it looks like the majority actually standing up to this is a huge deal. Like just looking at some of the images and like how they all like drove on the sidewalk of their corporate headquarters, like Activision Blizzard and the blue hearts everywhere, and just seeing it all happen and unfold. Like this is all a big deal.
Exactly.
Now, I want to before I get to the next article here, I want to show off what Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, has said in response to all this. and it's even on their corporate website. So I'm viewing the full letter right here, live.
Yeah.
And apparently you can download the PDF, but we're not doing that. No. We are not doing that here.
Is it what he said or what they responded with?
Yeah, so this is what the CEO of the company has said. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a full readout of this. A full readout. So brace yourselves. Yeah. My mouth is going to be out of breath after a while. This has been a difficult and upsetting week. I want to recognize and thank all those who have come forward in the past and in recent days. I so appreciate your courage. Every voice matters, and we will do a better job of listening now and in the future. Our initial responses to the issues we face together and to your concerns were quite frankly tone deaf. It is imperative that we acknowledge all perspectives and experiences and respect the feelings of those who have been mistreated in any way. I'm sorry that we did not provide the right empathy and understanding. Many of you had told us that the active outreach comes from caring so deeply for the company. That so many people have reached out and shared thoughts, suggestions, and highlighted opportunities for improvement is a powerful reflection of how you care for our communities of colleagues and players, and for each other. Ensuring that we have a safe and welcoming work environment is my highest priority. The leadership team has heard you loud and clear. We're taking swift action to be the compassionate, caring company you came to work for and to ensure a safe environment. There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind. We will do everything possible to make sure that together we improve and build the kind of inclusive workplace that is essential to foster creativity and inspiration. I have asked the law firm WilmerHale to conduct a review of our policies and procedures to ensure that we have and maintain best practices to promote a respectful and inclusive workplace. This work will begin immediately. The WilmerHale team will be led by Stephanie Avakane, who is a member of the management team at WilmerHale and was most recently the director of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's Division of Enforcement. We encourage anyone with an experience you believe violates our policies or in any way made you uncomfortable in the workplace to use any of our many existing channels for reporting or to reach out to Stephanie. She and her team at WilmerHale will be available to speak with you on a confidential basis and can be reached at her email or her phone number. Your outreach will be kept confidential, of course. No retaliation will be tolerated. We are committed to long-lasting change. Effective immediately, we'll be taking the following actions. Employee support. We will continue to investigate each and every claim and will not hesitate to take decisive action. To strengthen our capabilities in this area, we are adding additional senior staff and other resources to both the compliance team and the employee relations team. Listening sessions. We know many of you have inspired ideas on how to improve our culture. We will be creating safe spaces moderated by third parties for you to speak out and share areas for improvement. Personnel changes. We're immediately evaluating managers and leaders across the company. Anyone found to have impeded the integrity of the process of evaluating claims and imposing appropriate consequences will be terminated. Hiring practices. Earlier this year, I sent an email requiring all hiring managers to ensure they have diverse candidate slates for all open positions. We'll be adding compliance resources to ensure that our hiring managers are in fact adhering to this directive. 5. In-game changes. We have heard the input from employee and player communities that some of our in-game content was inappropriate. We're removing that content. Your well-being remains my priority, and I spare no company resource ensuring that our company has the most welcoming, comfortable, and safe culture possible. You have my unwavering commitment that we will improve our company together and will be the most inspiring, inclusive entertainment company in the world. Wow. Okay. So based off what they're saying, it looks like he is taking it seems like he's trying to take action. But notice how it came out after the walkout. It wasn't before it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is this is almost. I think it's damage control. You know, it's not. It doesn't. It's not explicitly being like, you know. It's not sincere because it's obviously not. Yeah, and the statement at the bottom, the cautionary note, like, was that included in the letter?
Let me actually get the PDF. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and take a look myself.
Because if that's actually included in the letter, then like, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it's a little, because like, I mean, of course they have to kind of put something in it, but it just seems like damage control,
Yeah, it's in the PDF.
including. Oh, awesome. You know, forward-looking statements.
Yeah, it says,
You know,
yeah, it even says like
it's like,
it's saying yeah, forward-looking statements in the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform of 1995. And yeah, it says we may in some cases use terms such as blah 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 blah. Convey uncertainty of future events for outcome and identify these forward-looking statements. So yeah, and it looks like we're gonna see more of this action and reaction later on, like how this is all unfolding, and this is just crazy to look at. And yeah, let's take a look and see how are the people reacting to this. Like, how are they reacting? Like, well,
and like to dissect this letter, like it's literally just, we will do everything possible, to do X, but it's like, it's not a promise, you know,
yeah. Let's take a
and
look.
these types of people can't exactly be.
Yeah, let's take a
Yeah.
look at this. So this is the employee's response to body codic statement. And they said that they said employee statement claimed that the action detailed in Kodak's original email fails to address critical elements at the heart of employee concerns. And it says they did not address the end of forced arbitration, worker participation oversight of hiring and promotion policies, the need for greater pay transparency, and employee selection of a third party audit HR and other company processes. And as they say, here, this is the beginning of an enduring movement in favor of better labor conditions for all employees, especially women, in particular women of color and transgender women, non-binary people, and other marginalized groups.
It's just that, it's like, you can say that, but action speaks louder than words, and just to say that, you know, to actually do, instead of just like, I mean, I actually want to see this stuff. But the thing is, he doesn't even say those points. He doesn't even mention. So it's like, I mean, saying that it's tone deaf, that the response was, or initial responses are tone deaf, and not even mentioning forced arbitration or like, you know,
Yeah, like this. Yeah, this really.
you
Yeah.
know, like I said, it's just damage control. Yeah, at this point, it's like, it's like, and saying that it's distorted, in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. Then, Bobby Kotick, he says, it's been difficult, upsetting, and we care, we'll reform. When
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard says it's in many cases distorted or false and blah blah blah. Like, what the fuck? You know, you get your story straight. Stop. And it's like, we'll reform to this is distorted or backwards, but And then this next image that has been floating around that shows that it's not really all distorted, you know.
Yeah, so when we get to
Pop up.
yeah, when we get to that part, we're gonna really unravel this. Like, but I but meanwhile, like, what change have we seen within the games? Like, how much of an impact that this has? Well, for starters, in this article that we have here, I know we
Oh
have
wow, I
some.
didn't even know the game changes. I was like,
Yeah, there are some things. Like, take a look at this. Overwatch map reveal quietly pushed aside amid ongoing Activision Blizzard lawsuit and frat boy culture allegations. So they would have had a map. So, the Blizzard team would have unveiled a new team deathmatch map called Malavento that is set in Italy, that is found in the PTR. And it was supposed to get revealed on July 22nd, and with a full release on August 17th. However, due to the ongoing the controversy going on with the DFEH in California, you know, it just got pushed aside. They were like, nope, we're not announcing this stuff right now. Sorry. And yeah, another change that has happened. Yeah, I mean, we can keep going on and on, but another thing is that, you know, there's actually two things related with World of Warcraft I can bring up. One of which is actually kind of surprising is whenever everything loads, is that World of Warcraft stopped development.
and these are the game changes that they're pushing. Is
Not
flat out
not yet.
not even developing. Like Jesus.
Yeah, like
Ugh.
development. Yeah, look at this. Senior system designer Jeff Hamilton said on Twitter that development has basically ceased on the massively popular MMO. I don't know what to do. I don't have all the answers. I can tell you almost no work is being done in World of Warcraft right now while this obscenity plays out. And that benefits nobody. Not the players, not the developers, not the shareholders. And he comes out after what's been going on. One of the people in the lawsuit is a former creative director, Alex Abi, who allegedly regularly sexually harassed women at the company, throwing his arms around them and attempting to kiss them on a regular basis. And this led to World of Warcraft players holding in-game protests against Activision Blizzard, calling for removal of NPCs modeled after him.
Awesome. Fucking awesome. But like this a tribute to a pervert. Fucking, what the fuck?
Oh, get this too. Like, there's even, the removing of inappropriate content. So they're practically not really developing any new other content. They're stripping content.
Oh yeah, but they're not even in-game changes. In-game, like, they're literally stripping content from the game instead of putting in new things or, like, what is this? Hold on a second.
So this is
Crosby Suite.
We're
Cosby
not,
Suite.
We're not gonna get there yet.
I'm sorry. I just, the article mentioned that. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's one of the later articles, not the one I'm looking at here. So, and it says here that Blizzard has promised to remove content not appropriate for World of Warcraft. And again, and they say that the past days have been a time reflection for the World of Warcraft team, spent in conversation and contemplation, full of sadness, pain, and anger. But yeah, oh, there's a whole message over here. We can read the entire response from the World of Warcraft team themselves. We're going on Twitter, boys. I know this is no time to.
I just need to. I'll be right back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be really quick. Just read that, and I'll be right back. I don't mean to, you know.
I'll have the message. Again, I have my screen shared so you can take a look for yourself.
I have the article right now. Just I need to go fix something. Okay.
It's fine.
Appreciate it.
So this is what it says here. It was clear from our team conversations that we wanted to put forth a statement that was representative of the World of Warcraft's team's sentiments. We asked all members of our team to send us their suggestions and feedback on how best to address the community, and this is the result. The past days have been a time of reflection for the World of Warcraft team, spent in conversation and contemplation, full of sadness, pain, and anger, but also hope and resolve. As we heed the brave women who have come forward and to share their experiences, we stand committed to taking the actions necessary to ensure that we are provided an inclusive, welcoming, and safe environment for both our team and for players in Azeroth. For those of us in leadership, understand that it is not our place to judge when we have achieved our goals, rather for our team and our community to let us know when we still have more to do. While we turn to our team for guidance in our internal work to protect marginalized groups and to hold accountable those who threaten them, we also want to take immediate action in Azeroth to remove references that are not appropriate for our world. This work has been underway, and you will be seeing several such changes to both Shadowlands and WoW Classic in the coming days. We know that in order to build trust, we must earn it with our actions in the weeks and months to come. But we go forward knowing that we share the same vision as our community about creating a place where people of all genders, ethnicities, sexual orientations, and backgrounds can thrive and proudly call home. Wow. Just. Here?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. In some ways, hit home for me. Just reading this one. This one from the World of Warcraft one hit home.
I see.
Because I played World of Warcraft during the Wrath of the Lich King expansion and early Cataclysm. And this particular game has a very special place in my heart. And to see it be tainted and distorted by what this company has become, it's a bit somber to think about that. Like just reading it from here is the account. You know, here's like a game that meant a lot to me in my teenage years. And just seeing and just watching it years later just turn to this is just wow. And, you know, I honestly, it's just like coming to this. It's just wow. But we have more things to talk about because after all this came out, more things have been unveiled that really make things home. And now we talk about.
Yeah.
So in a few seconds, this image is gonna load up.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I have to laugh because it's so fucking ridiculous. It reminds me of a cursed image. But this is actually a real fucking thing that people are like, you know, celebrating, I guess, you know?
Like, I can imagine memes of this, like replacing the Bill Cosby image with something else. But knowing the context of the image can't really make a meme out of it because of the events that are going on today.
Exactly. That's what
Like the
that's
template,
what I mean.
that's what I mean. Like the template itself would be primed for a meme, but the actions of what's been done, and what has come out from all the different sources, otherwise. And let's take a look at this whole thing. So,
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought this was actually photoshopped when I first saw it, just because of the low quality and like how fucking I thought this was a joke, but no, this is fucking how disgusting these developers really are.
so yeah,
This was a port. This was at BlizzCon 2013.
yeah.
So
BlizzCon is like a major convention. Like this was before. Oh, I think this is before Overwatch really was a thing. So back then they were like Diablo and Warcraft and Starcraft, and that is it.
oh
Overwatch was
yeah,
what one thing that that's what I think of like WoW. Essentially, this was like their three strategy. You had an MMO, a strategy game, and then you had your action RPG that's over shoulder. Warcraft was originally a strategy game before World of Warcraft came out, and that was one of our fantastical ones. You had like going down.
it's just the fact that they say they weren't aware of the frat boy culture. Excuse me. Um, and yet this is from 2013. So I mean, it's a little.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and you can see here that like Cosby Suite was more than a nickname or a joke, based on image comments. After Albi posted on his Facebook reply to a post talking by a former developer at Blizzard. It was reportedly a booze-filled meeting place where many would pose with an actual portrait of Bill Cosby while smiling, and it was a hot spot for informal networking at BlizzCon. And then where people would make inroads at the company would go to meet and talk with some of its top designers. Here, like an image of a bunch of booze, and here of preparation made. Cosby Suite in effect.
What the fuck?
All the names were censored out. Like, look at this.
Yeah, but it's just like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? This also looks like a cursed image too. It's fucking Canada Dry Tonic and fucking, a bunch of nondescript alcohols and a giant stack of solo cups in a fucking bathroom sink mirror. Uh, this is top tier fucking, frat boy culture. I swear. This is the shit I'd see in fucking college. You know? Like, what the fuck? And it's like November 7th, 2013. It boggles my mind because I'm wondering what the fuck happened even before this. You know,
Now look at this.
what if,
Like, we're
like,
gonna, yeah, let's. Oh yeah, can see what you're saying before we move on.
yeah, I I just wonder if they were luring women in the back room before this and they never came out about it.
Yeah. As you'll see in the article here, guy here, this guy, did not respond to Kotaku by press time as deleted most of his social media presence, but he can be seen in a number of pictures surrounded by a variety of unidentified people sitting on a bed. The caption of the screenshot took the album Hails from gatherings held for good. I will tell them that repeatedly referred to as the Cosby Suite. The captions and comments are both written by and refer by name to other employees of the show. One ex-Blizzard source familiar with the people presenting the pictures identify a nature representative as one of the Blizzard employees present in the hotel room. Oh, and here's this. Look at this. Another image from the same Facebook album shows a screenshot of a 2013 group chat called BlizzCon Cosby Crew. Former Blizzard designer David Kozak writes, "I'm gathering the hot chicks for the cause." Brigham replies, as Afraziabi, "You can marry all of them, Alex." Kozak writes, "I can't. I'm Middle Eastern." Response. Jesse McCree, currently a lead game designer at Blizzard, then writes, "You misspelled fuck." Let me just give you a few seconds to process all that.
Yeah. I don't know what to do right now. Like,
Oh, and here's another thing too.
it's like when you. Sorry.
That Jesse McCree guy that I just mentioned.
Isn't he inspired by, or isn't his name? Didn't it inspire McCready from Overwatch?
Take a look at my screen.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, it is fucking McCree from fucking Overwatch. Oh my god.
And because the people have been asking to rename him
Oh my god.
because of that.
Fuck. Because I remember playing Overwatch with my brother, and I was like, "Oh, McCree or whatever his fucking name was," and I'm looking at this guy, McCree. Oh fuck! I- oh my god! And now and this other one, you know, it's like this is like what I was trying to say before was this is like thinking of what's beyond the known universe. You think of the Earth and you think of the Milky Way, I think other galaxies and out of that, and like you start to get like mind fucked. But thinking this guy is named, his name is like this character's name is derived from one of the developers that was involved in this fucking shit. I I need to fucking take a walk. And now we have to rename him, because we don't want to reference this fucking guy. Like,
We have a lot more to talk about because it gets worse.
another ex-Blizzard source pushed back on the claims that the Cosby Suite was a joke about ugly boardrooms or sweaters, noting that when Blizzard moved to its new Irvine, California campus in 2008, the office had been freshly painted, and to their knowledge, there was no infamous ugly boardroom, which
Where did you find this?
it is so. Go to that BlizzCon Cosby Crew thing. That image.
This one?
No, the DMs.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, and go down 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. The ones that are spaced out. Where it says another X Blizzard. It's a smaller one. It has a red line
Yep, I see
for
it.
a link. Sorry, I just want to make sure you know.
It's fine. I was trying to get in the flow of the article.
Okay. But it's just like there is so much bullshit that's been covered up that
like I don't care if this recording is gonna be like 3 or 4 hours for a podcast. Like, this story deserves as much attention as we can give it. Like, there was a reason why I said this was going to be the big topic of the night.
You have to be willing to look at the ugly side of things in order to get better.
Exactly, and it really is awakening, but let's keep going, because I will give a lot of sentiments afterwards. Like, gets sickening. Look at this. Corey Stockton, currently a lead game designer at Blizzard, and Greg Street, former Blizzard developer, currently working on a new MMO at Riot Games, were also present in the chat. The chat was provided as a series of screenshots depicting a wide array of Facebook posts by Afrasiabi, all under a 2013 photo album. The album contained a picture exclusively dedicated to the amount of alcohol procured in preparation for the Cosby Suite, according to the captions. The album showcases the large framed Cosby photo in a variety of angles held by a number of different people. And Stockton wrote at the time, possibly the greatest group chat in the history of mankind. And then we continue. Stockton and McCree did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Street declined comment, but they provided updates saying that Greg Streep, had tweeted a brief statement in which he claimed the Cosby Suite was a green room for taking breaks during BlizzCon, and that he is embarrassed at the nickname of the room, given all that we know now. And you can see this chat here. Look at this. I'm gathering the hot chicks for the cause. Bring them, Greg. You on the way? You can't marry them all, Alex. I can. I'm Middle Eastern. You misspelled fuck. Hilton Bar. Come to the whatever. And look at this. Mics were dropped. And you can see like everything that was described in the article there.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. By 2013, there were already multiple allegations of sexual assault against Cosby. Blah 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 blah. Come until 28. First, the hotel room. The Cosby Suite name was a play on the comedian's iconic ugly sweaters and didn't have any sexual connotation at the time. Instead, they suggest the running joke was that the rooms in question looked dated, like the sweaters. One source said they were told it was a reference to an ugly boardroom back at Blizzard's main office, which reportedly had similar pattern to the sweater. Another said they misunderstood it to be a reference to an ugly hotel room during a different gaming conference. But it shows that all the pictures of the 2013 BlizzCon hotel room, walls were largely white and blank, and the decor was nondescript. The rug visible in some of the photographs does have a pattern, but looks nothing like the sweaters in the frame picture everyone is holding. And it says another ex-Blizzard source pushed back and claimed the Cosby Suite was a joke about ugly boardrooms and sweaters, noting that when Blizzard moved to its new Irvine, California campus in 2008, something you mentioned, that the office had been freshly painted, and to their knowledge, there was no infamous ugly boardroom. Now, we're not going to link up I'm not going to look at the link in the article, but we'll keep going, because you can see here, joke, many captions and comments posted in the 2013 college are sexual in nature. Kotaku sources who suggested the joke was an innocent play on an infamous room. Some else also insisted that despite this apparent widespread notoriety that was memorable enough to commemorate with a framed picture, they did not know the room belonged to Afrasiab specifically. And you can see that, like, the Cosby room, they interpret it as something like, oh, here's this one, look at this. In one image procured by Kotaku, a group of women are sitting on a bed in the room with the Cosby portrait. One of the women appears to have a hand on another's breast, which is cheered on by the men in the comments. And according to the images that they had, and two sources with Afrasiabi, Cosby's reputation was apparently the point of why the group of men gathered around his picture in the photos. And at that time, it was such a boys' club that creating something like the Cosby Suite was seen as funny. Only you could get an FSC laid. Cause approved, hashtag, reach another. Like, look at this. Like,
I am.
Like, the more we look at this, like, I don't know if I can go on much further. Like, I think we got, like, yeah, we're over the end of the article anyway, so it doesn't matter. But everything else kind of what we already discussed about. I'm going to look at this second article later, but yeah, this is... Oh, I wasn't even sure the article. Oh my god. Jeez. Yeah, everyone, here's the article right here. You can see this is the alcohol image right there. This is the infamous picture right here. This has the chat that we were taking a look at. Everyone, want to just pause the video if you want to take a look at some of this stuff. It really makes you sick. And yeah, it really does. Like, I think we have, like, not only do we have this whole Cosby Suite thing, but there's even more allegations afterwards. Yeah, there's even more sick stuff. Like, not like the cool type of sick, but the disgusting kind of sick. And this was all revealed. Like, take a look at this. Miss Stein, who worked at Activision from 2014 to 2017 in a customer service role, helping gamers with problems and glitches, said she had consistently been paid less than her ex-boyfriend, who joined the company the same time she did and performed the same work. Miss Stein said she had once declined drugs that her manager offered at a holiday party in 2014 or 2015, which soured their relationship and hampered her career. In 2016, a manager messaged her on Facebook suggesting she must be into some freaky stuff and asking what type of pornography she watched. She said she had also overheard male colleagues joking that some women had their jobs only because they performed sexual favors for male superiors. I know, me and you both, like...
It's just fucking terrible.
It really
you
is.
Know? Like, I mean, maybe there are, like, a few things that are, but it's just, like, I can't describe how fucking terrifying the idea of this being a thing is. That this is something. It's just the fact that nobody came forward that scares me the most. It's like, it's you come forward and you lose your job, or, because it's mostly just shut up, sit down. You have nobody behind you, and now with the whole bottle, the cork finally pops open. Literally, it's that. It's just like that. Like everyone is sick of it.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing that was mentioned was that Vice published a report on Friday about a story of Emily Mitchell, who was a security researcher who approached Blizzard's booth at Black Hat Cybersecurity Conference in 2015 and was harassed by Blizzard representatives. And this is what they said. When she got to the table, she said she asked about the penetration testing position. Penetration testing, or pen testing, is the industry term for a security audit. Mitchell said she was wearing a t-shirt made by cybersecurity company SecuritySafe, which had penetration expert on the front. One of the Blizzard employees first asked if she was lost. Another one asked if she was at the conference with her boyfriend. Another one asked if she knew what pen testing was. One of them asked me when was the last time I was personally penetrated, if I like being penetrated, and how often I got penetrated. Mitchell's a waypoint. I was furious and felt humiliated, so I took the free swag and left. What? I'm sure you're looking at the same thing, and you're just like...
I'm hearing this. I'm not looking at it.
It's like you can't even look at it anymore after I keep mentioning this stuff.
No, it's just the fact that this is real people. Like, this isn't a story. This isn't fantasy. This is literally, like, what happened and what is happening in a modern fucking society, too. these are also the people that we, cheer on for, like you said, like it's terrible because you used to like World of Warcraft, and it's just like these are the people that we look up to, the developers of this game, and it's like, no, these are the people that are fucking making these games that we love. Oh god. And it's like this specific thing about like making a funny joke. Where's the joke in that?
Yeah.
What the
Well,
joke is like being overly flirtatious and like, oh, it's funny because it has to deal with like the whole you know thing, but it's just like it's not funny.
yeah.
It's not. It never was. It might be funny if you know them romantically, but it's not funny. It's not funny at all. It's like it's creepy. It's fucking disturbing. It's like you
Yeah.
know. I
Like,
would.
I would understand if it's like you're talking to like a group of friends, you're all laughing, everything like that. But when you're talking to someone that you don't even know,
And
then
you're
it
trying to
becomes
be professional, too. This is a fucking professional environment. What the shit?
oh, absolutely. And then here's another case I found too. Take a look at this. So
Yeah.
So Mitchell would later work as a CEO at a company called blah blah blah. And when Blizzard wanted to hire the company in 2015, she reported the incident to founder and CEO Jeremy Gosney, according to Vice. Gosney posted his redacted email reply on Twitter in March 2017, demand that Blizzard fulfill several conditions if they were to work together, including a 50% misogyny tax, where the proceeds would be donated to 3 charities supporting women in technology, and that Blizzard sent a letter to apology to Mitchell. And I don't know if I want to go through this whole letter, but it's a long letter. But like, let me see if I can pull Twitter up. But it's a long letter. It's a,
If you want to. I
I'm sure you're looking at this stuff and you're just like,
I don't really want to get back into this stuff. Like I don't like to think about like I don't know. It's not that I'm like, you know,
I'll just,
I don't,
I'll, what I'll just do instead of reading this is I'm just gonna share. Let's leave the screen like this.
yeah,
I'm gonna,
you can talk about it. I just
yeah, I'm just gonna leave this. I'm just gonna, for those who don't know, I'm just gonna leave this screen just as it is for like a few seconds. Just pause if you want to read it, and you know, just get out of it. Like this is all awful stuff. It really is, and
I just can't believe, I can't believe this shit. I would never want this to be.
yeah,
I would never want this to be my company. I would never want. I would never want.
yeah. So I think we covered everything that we had to cover for this topic. We honestly did. I was looking at another article to verify that, it is of the same material,
Yeah.
and it was, so pretty much, it was,
If you want to keep on going, that's fine. But
yeah, I think now that we have all the articles shared already, we've seen all the
yeah,
articles, I think this is a time that we can use to just really just I think this is the time that we can use to just talk about the general thing of the event and the overall timeline. So to sum everything up, we have a company who is being sued by like a California agency, the DFEH, for sexual harassment. We've seen images of the protesters happen after playing a protest. Activision themselves having a poor response. After the protest, CEO Bobby Kotick sent a corporate response that seems to cover up what he's trying to do. But more people have come out, and this has negatively impacted games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft. And their stock has tanked.
It's all just fucking damage control.
It really is, and we here at GAHCast, myself, Hydrowave99, FluufAlpaca, and I'm sure Ghostweller, who is doing something else right now, would stand beside us in saying this, that we do not condone any sexual harassment in this sort of manner like this. Like, this is a very touchy subject. And I'm gonna do something to commemorate all the people that, I'm gonna do something a little different for the intro for this one, and maybe even the outro too, before the end card comes into place. Like, this stuff is, ugh, it just feels so. For all those who worked at Blizzard and Activision, or any of all of Activision studios, like Toys for Bob, and how all the Call of Duties, all the studios got kind of combobulated for make Call of Duty and whatnot. For the employees who feel impacted by these decisions, we stand beside you in this matter, and we hope that this whole breakdown of the situation that you guys are in right now, if any of you watch this, we stand beside you. And I'm sure, Alpaca, would you like to give a moment of silence?
No, I wanna just like I don't really. It's not really a moment of silence. It's more just like I wanna. Because I don't know what to do really to commemorate, or not even commemorate, but it's like I don't know what to do to like say that I wish that this was. I wish that this was all fake and that this never happened, or that it's all, you know. But the fact that it's a government agency that's, looking into this shit, the fact that these people have, walked out and have done strikes, the fact that there's a lot of evidence and, you know, you can tell that there's damage control, like the fact that there is just so much that is like seems like damage control, and something that most of it just seems like they're doing it to cover up behind closed doors. I just like
Yeah, it's just
I'm just terrified,
And like some of our favorite games, like for like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, Overwatch.
It's just that these people preach about inclusivity and all this shit, and this is what comes out of those same people's mouths, and like this is what not like mouths, but this is what eventually becomes of these people, and this is what these people are actually doing in their spare time, or what they should be doing with working, and that's that explains a lot of the, like, I feel like, I think that explains a lot of, like, the developmental hell that isn't actually developmental hell, you know?
Yeah. Like,
I,
it just,
it's
like,
just people, you know, treating it like it's a fucking, like, free vacation day,
yeah.
jerk off day, you know?
Really, it's just like, for those of you who are watching, I don't blame you if you decide to uninstall Battle.net on your PCs. I don't blame you if you decide to stop playing any game from Activision Blizzard. Like, the Crash, any of the Crash remasters, or Crash 4, anything like that that came out, or the Spyro trilogy, remastered trilogy, or Tony Hawk, or, you know, I mean, I haven't really played Guitar Hero recently. If I were to play a rhythm game, I would go more towards Rock Band, but or I would, or like I said, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, StarCraft. Like, these are all major games from. Oh, and they also own of King, who makes Candy Crush. So I don't blame you. You don't want to play Candy Crush either, because even though they may not be directly involved with this whole thing, they are part of the same organization. But it's just, it's been a sad week for these guys, and while I wouldn't say support the corporate heads, if there's any way to help the people who are trying to be protected, or those that are trying to help protect those that have been harmed by the actions of Activision Blizzard's higher ups, please. And if we have any chance of being able to expose more of the stuff in the future, like, we would be happy to do so, but only under your consent. Um, I don't know if
I'm
we.
more,
That's what I mean. I don't know if we even should talk about our funny topic today, because this is just so deep after looking into it.
I don't want to. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
like,
feel like a lot of like, it's odd because, like, I'm I'm very hypocritical where I'm like, I want some endings to not be happy endings and always be kind of just like a depressing sort of thing. But when I get them, I'm like, oh, what if this was like more silly, or just like, it's like, when I got to the ending of uh I guess BioShock Infinite, you know, it's kind of like, your character is, you know, it's sad,
or
and your character's,
yeah,
it's a shithole, but, I was like, well, what if it was a happier ending and whatnot? Not to spoil BioShock Infinite, because it's pretty good. Just don't connect it with BioShock in general, you know?
oh, I wouldn't, because that's UK's issue. That's not Activision's issue. But I
I'm
think,
just saying, like,
like, this feels. I know this isn't related to Activision at all, but this feels kind of as strong as the famous scene of Sephiroth falling from the sky and just piercing Aerith. Like, that's a very iconic scene. I have not played the game myself, but I know how iconic of a scene that is. And to connect it with something as brutal as this, it's just, it's tough.
I more was just like, I was more about like ending it off on a higher note.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I hear
Honestly,
you.
it's not. not about like
Yeah, like
for me, it's like watching something that you thought was. It's like watching your friend who you love and you want them to be good, and they just turn out to be terrible people underneath the when the wool is pulled.
yeah.
You know, it just feels like that. It's
Ex-
like you find out that they are literally perverted sickos, or that they've killed someone, and it's not, they don't, they kill someone recently. It's not just like, oh, I've killed, or it's like, fuck.
I'll tell you this much right now. The thumbnail is not going to be a very silly one like the last episodes have been. This is going to be a very serious thumbnail. A very serious thumbnail for a very serious ending of an episode. Like, we've joked a lot in the earlier 6 topics, but I knew this was going to be the main topic that would take the most time. After. And this is the topic I'm glad that I was able to wait it out a little longer. Like, if we just talked about like just the initial article and just moved on from it, it wouldn't do the justice that we would have done today.
No, I'm glad we took the week off to just let's see how the dust did settle. Um,
Exactly. Like we had
I
a.
want to ask you, are you sure this is recording?
Oh, this
Just
is this is recording, and I have the timer
just
here.
to ask, because
Yeah,
if this isn't recording, then for fuck's sake. Anyway,
yeah. If this failed to record, I would lose my absolute crud because we just went through the most meaningful thing that's probably on the channel ever. The most
yeah,
sentimental topic. And I can't re-record something as raw as this.
no, and I can't be open about a few things because it's private, but it's just like this is some terrible stuff that I feel like I can relate to.
Yeah. And we have the earlier 6 topics, and I think what I'll do is I'll put like a time like what I'll do is that in the introduction I'll say in solidarity with something. I'm gonna make a proper introduction that's not the usual GAHCast intro. Like there'll be a little notice beforehand and then like a thing before the end card happens. That just
Yeah,
says like, hey, we stand in support with you guys. Thank you for fighting for the protection of everybody or whatever. Like an actual proper notice in the video itself, like to show how
I see.
serious of a matter this is. Like we have our 6 earlier topics where we joke around a little bit and stuff, but this is the topic I wanted to spend the most time on today. And I'm glad I was able to make this, a proper thing. So, do we
Yeah.
do we make this the? Should we end it now?
Um,
I don't think we have much to joke about anymore because we have such a dark topic.
I mean, do you have anything else to add for you?
Like I said, like the whole concept of this is really, it kind of makes you think about like some of the things that you do. Like, you know, sometimes I'm a socially awkward individual myself. I'll admit this. And sometimes when I'm nearby women or whatever, I sometimes feel like I can, if it's especially a woman that is of high attractiveness in person, like if I'm really into them and I kind of know them a little bit, I start to
Yeah,
act a little awkward, like really awkward, and sometimes almost creep levels. Like there was a time in which during my high school like outing or whatever, my senior outing, there was a girl that I liked, and literally it was like a whole senior outing, and one of the things I did was I was trying to follow her and trying to get as much of her attention as I can,
I
and
see.
then And then another thing that happened, there was one other girl I know, and I probably did some involuntarily physical contact, like hugs and stuff.
No, yeah, I understand.
Like,
I understand. You don't have to get any.
I'm just,
I understand.
yeah. I've done
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But it just like, that's the only thing I can really add is just, it's a tough subject. Like, it really is. Like, when you can connect something with this. Like, when I was watching videos from Review Tech USA, and I don't want to make it, we usually make jokes with him about him and whatnot, but this is a different case. Like, when I would watch videos from, like, Spallwave or Review Tech USA, whatever, detailing the Activision Blizzard stuff, I kind of just cared a little less about it. But then when we did this discussion here, you and I, and we really, went deep into it, it really opens you up in a whole new level.
Yeah, but when I heard about this stuff, I didn't really like. I was like, oh yeah, it's just another thing. But going into a deeper dive, it's a little bit more than that, and it it's not just it's literally not even just that. It's not even just that. It's like it's when you can actually feel the pain, I guess, or you can feel these people's trauma through. I wouldn't even say just even guessing, because like that this happened, that this stuff has happened, and that these people, if there's no intervention, it will happen again.
Right.
And I guess just
Like,
yeah.
I just, it's just so interesting to think about. Like, I think this all just, there's a lot we can learn from this. Everybody. Not just the people, the higher ups, not just the DFEH, not just the people that are at Activision and Blizzard, but everybody.
Yeah, for everybody, honestly, can learn to take what this, just, these are people that haven't come out because they didn't have a voice, They were just in it for, maybe it was funny the first time, but now it's getting a little perverted and a little heinous. So,
Especially with Bill Cosby, like, who would have
yeah.
ever thought that at the time, like, he would have been, known to be a pervert, and now that, years later, and now we're talking about him again because what he did then, before he got arrested and everything like that, all of a sudden kind of ties in with what this has happened. Like, it makes the whole thing really awful. And
The fact that these people kind of idolize him in these images in a way, like as like, yay, it's funny, or whatever. It's like,
well,
and they knew. This
yeah,
was 2013. This is when Cosby actually you know, called out.
and
So
also to think that, like, here's another thing to think about too.
it's not a funny joke when you know the context already.
Well, not only that, but all the in jokes that, like myself, you, and Ghost have. Like, we have our own circle of jokes. Like, what if all of a sudden one of our jokes gets out there? Like, we make fun of something and it gets shown off into the light, and everyone looks at us as complete crazy psychos.
Well, you're gonna have to give me an example of that, but
Well, I mean, there's none I can think of now, but what if that happens? I know we make fun of, I know, especially Ghost likes to make fun of furries. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
I mean,
that's
that's still a group of people that, have lives and do things. And don't get me
yeah,
wrong, I try to be the accepting one of the bunch, and I know that it's memed upon to make fun of them. But it's just sickening to think that, in a way, if we think about it, by making fun of the furries, we're technically making fun of a group of people in orientation.
oh yeah, I get that honestly. Um,
Like, it's subtle, like making fun of people for something different, and it really just makes you wake up and just realize, hey, we shouldn't really be doing this. Like, I try to make a playful fun of things, but I'm like, hey, listen, guys are actually welcome here. Ignore what he says. We want you welcome here. But
of course.
I want to make it like, when I do make something a joke about the furries, I want to make it seem like I'm trying to welcome you guys in. Like, I have no ill will to you guys. Like, don't get me wrong. We still have a long way to go to learn about everybody. It doesn't matter if you're transgender, gay, lesbian, bisexual, Christian, Muslim, atheist, Buddhist, Sikhism, Buddhist, Hindu, etc. We have a lot to learn about everybody. And I think this is the point that I should end this on, is that there's a lot we all have to learn. Alright, everybody. So, if you liked what you saw here today, just like, comment, subscribe, follow our Discord on the Discord server, which we have in the description of the video. I'm Hydrowave99,
FluufAlpaca.
and then Ghost is off somewhere else. And we'll see you all guys next week. And also, to all those who have been affected by events of the Activision Blizzard, we stand in solidarity with you.
I think it. I think it'd be more if we just about everyone, honestly, that's been affected by it. You know, sort of,
Right.
you know,
You know what?
drunken
Yeah,
barbarianism.
let's make
You
this
know,
let's make this a better thing. To all those that have been affected by the actions of Activision Blizzard and all those of sexual harassment and any sort of harassment, video is to you. Bye, everyone.
I